Okay, is it? I think they're blinking. It
Okay, that's on.
means it's on, right?
Yeah. Your channel will display here.
What is that? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Am I on? Checking, checking. Okay.
Uh,
Welcome
I'm,
back, ladies and gentlemen, on another episode at the Cusp of Freedom, where we'll be discussing our perspective on how and why we became who we are, so that you can take it and resonate with how you resonate with how it fits best with you. So, yeah, we all come from different backgrounds, so just take it with a grain of salt. I'm with a very special friend of mine, and I'll let him introduce himself so he can tell you his name, where he's from, and what he does as a digital nomad.
hi, this is Vincent. I'm originally from Taiwan, but I am based in New York right now. I'm a software engineer, and because of my job, I have been traveling around the world since 2020, since the pandemic started. I work at Google as a software engineer, and yeah, that's.
Yeah. Wow. So you're a software engineer at Google, bro. Did you dream of becoming an engineer when you were growing up?
Yeah, actually the reason that I started like studying software engineer is kind of funny. I was into video games, and I thought
Okay.
studying like programming gives me more opportunity to play video games.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and that's why I got into this field. But after a few years, I started to like it. Like
Okay.
I enjoy the sense of accomplishment after I finish like a project. I make something work. It's very
Fulfilling.
fulfilling. Yeah.
I feel that. I definitely resonate. So at what age did you discover this link between video games and software engineering? Like at what age did you discover that you could do programming and play? Like at what age did you feel like programming could help you play video games and stuff like that?
Actually, that was like before I started studying. So like I started studying in my undergrad, and I was really into video games like in high school. And after I started studying software engineer, I realized I'm too busy to even have like time to play
Play video games.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
it's not really. I won't say it's like related. Like
Okay.
it doesn't help me have time to play video games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I was trying to say is like, when you discovered that, you just like, did video games help you discover software engineering? Was that my
Yeah, yeah.
okay? So do you think that I mean, I have friends that love video games, and it just happens to be that they're also working in tech. So do you feel like people that are very enthusiastic about video games and like getting to that next level are also or have what it takes to become an engineer?
Yeah, I think definitely if you're into video games, you probably know, like there are some friends that I have that's really into video games. They know a lot of like modification. They try to know how the system works.
The
And
cheat code.
yeah, the cheat code.
They try to break the
It
system.
somehow like motivates them to like learn about the computer and how.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
And
makes sense. So it teaches you how to hack the system.
yeah.
Okay, and that mentality is what's important to be a programmer or an engineer.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So when you were younger, growing up, you wanted to be. Did you want to be a video gamer or an engineer?
Actually, video gamer more.
Okay. So you grew up with the passion of becoming a video gamer, which is nothing wrong with it, because video games are interesting, right? They
Yeah.
catch our attention. They force us to do our best and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it seems like you got caught up with reality, where you had to figure out the fine line between something that you love and want to pursue in your
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
And that's when engineering came into play.
Yeah, like, I think software engineer is kind of like the middle ground, like
Yeah.
because although in Asia it's very popular to become like a professional like gamer, they are very competitive, but like society still doesn't really accept like older generation still doesn't accept like playing video games as a profession.
As a profession, yeah.
So yeah,
And can you blame them? Back in the days, we didn't even have cell phones, And
Yeah.
today, video games is almost like the only thing you can do to make money.
Yeah.
Because everything else is, I don't know, it's
even making more than software engineers. And
yeah, playing video games is pretty crazy. The times we're living in. So did you go to college to become a software engineer? And if you could go back, do you feel like you could have became a software engineer as you are today without going to college?
I think there's a lot of resources online that I think I can also learn myself. I think most of the techniques or the languages that I use right now, I didn't learn it from school. Like
Yeah.
I learned it either after I joined the company, there's like a onboarding process, or I learned it myself online. So
Okay.
I think the college education just gives you like the foundation to build on. For example, they just teach you C++, you know how the programming works, but the other more advanced stuff you have to learn yourself based on your need.
Okay.
You know.
So it makes sense. So basically, college just gives you like a little foundation on which you yourself have to foster and develop on your own with like discipline and willing to learn and just try and error and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally agree. But how hard is it to get, or let's go to this, let's do this. When you were in college pursuing software engineering, for someone that's out there who wants to become a software engineer, how would you define software engineering? Yeah. And what traits do you think you had that made you feel like you could complete this degree? I don't know.
I think definitely like logic, like mathematics, logic. Like I find it especially in the beginning. I don't think I'm like especially good at these, but especially in the beginning, I feel it's very important when you're trying to think in a way how the system thinks. Like
Yeah.
it's very different from how like human thinks. Like
We think with a lot of errors. This is
yeah, yeah. So I feel that is like one part. I've seen people struggling studying software engineer and people who think it's easy, and I feel like the difference is just probably mathematics and logic.
and logic.
Like,
So you feel like for two people that are pursuing software engineering, one person is going to be extremely hard because they lack logic, or it's going to be a bit harder for them to study and get through the classes
yeah,
because they
yeah.
lack.
There will be more error. Like maybe it will take more time for him to correct some of the bugs or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, makes sense. It means that everybody can do it, but it might just be a little bit harder for you if you're not if your brain isn't very well trained on solving mathematical problems
Yeah,
or
yeah.
legit logical problems, which makes sense. Which is why engineering gives you that foundation of being a critical thinker, and that can help you. That can help ease your learning curve in the domain. So, so you go to college. Was college difficult for you, or was it pretty smooth?
I won't say it's like smooth. Like the first year is, I think, the most difficult for like someone like me because a lot of my classmates they already started learning about programming maybe in high school.
Okay, they had a head start.
Yeah, they had a head start, and for me, I just started like my first year in college, and for me, it was a little bit. It's like a different way of thinking, and so for me, it's a little bit more
Strange.
difficult. And once I get used to it, maybe the second year, third year, it's easier and easier after that. I
Okay.
think most of my classmates who quit was early in the like maybe the first semester or the first year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, for anyone who wants to pursue software engineering, who may struggle in solving difficult mathematical equations or don't have like that elasticity in going to solving hard equations and problems, sticking through the first couple of years of college will basically set you apart because as you don't give up and you continue to keep trying and learning how to get better at solving problems over time, maybe after a year or two you'll get better and better and understand that your brain is elastic and you just need time to learn, and once you learn you really don't forget, right?
Yeah, just if you feel frustrated learning programming at first, it's completely normal. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's normal.
if you just like get into this field, it's not going to be like super smooth, but it will get better with time. Yeah.
Wow. So fast forward, you go to college. Um, regarding like, first, did you go to college in the U.S. or did you go to college somewhere else?
I went to University of Taiwan for my undergrad, but I study the last year of my university. I exchanged in Canada with University of Waterloo, but my master's was in the States. Like,
Okay. So you did a master's in computer science,
yeah,
and your undergrad you did in Taiwan.
yeah.
For someone who came from Taiwan, do you feel like you had to pursue your master's because it was harder for you to get a job straight out of college in Taiwan?
Yeah, if you, it depends on like where you want to get a job. If you want to get a job in Taiwan, it's really easy if you study software engineer, study programming in undergrad, and you can just graduate and get a job.
Okay.
But if you want to get a job in the U.S., you kind of need to have like a master's degree because they don't really recognize universities outside
The US.
the U.S. So
Unless you went to a university in the U.S.,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is a bit different.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
I have some teammates that joined the company after they graduate from undergrad, and they all study in U.S. university.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
and if they're like their undergrads in another country, normally they will have like a master's degree.
Master's or a
Yeah.
doctor. That makes sense. That makes sense. Absolutely. Well, glad we covered that. Did you were there any okay, if you could go back, given the track that you've taken to become a software engineer at Google, if you could go back now and do anything better with regards to your education or finances regarding your education, what would you do better?
Finances. If I knew, because when I studied in Taiwan, I didn't think of actually working in the U.S. So I feel a lot of the things that they focus on is not really that useful in the industry in
field.
the U.S. So if I was sure that I'm going to find a job in the U.S., I will try to just get in a university here. Like,
Okay. So if you could go back, you would have skipped,
Yeah.
university in Taiwan and
it's
just
like-
gone straight to the U.S.
you don't need that 2 extra years in master's,
Masters.
because if you want to work in the industry, I don't feel that the master degree is very important.
That's true. I don't have a master's degree.
Yeah, like it's just for.
I don't
It's
even know
kind
what
of bad
for.
to say, but like it's kind of like for foreigners to get a degree,
I think-
get a foot in like
The door, the
industry.
door. I
Yeah.
think you're absolutely right though, because I got my foot in the door straight out of college without going. But yeah, most of the people that I know that do get like further education do come from like outside the country.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Wow, that's a really good reflection, bro. All right, now that we've discussed why and how you became a software engineer at Google, and what you could have done better if you went back, let me try to think what someone would want to ask you. Okay, what is software engineering, by the way? And what are the different, I know I get asked a lot, like the different types of software engineering jobs that there are. What is software engineering? What are the different types of software engineering that you know? And
Different types of.
yeah, let's start with that first.
Yeah, software engineer is like a very large area. There's like all kinds of fields. Basically programming, and then for programming there's different applications. For example, like artificial intelligence, which is very popular now. Machine learning, and there's like visualization, graphic, and there's like backend, like servers. How do you make service more performance better? And also there's like security, where you can make sure your system doesn't get hacked. Yeah, there's a lot of fields.
Okay, there's a lot of fields, and well, given the day and age that we're living in, as you mentioned in technology, there is a very popular field of machine learning and AI.
Yeah.
If you were to recommend, our or the generation coming after us, right, that are going to watch this to want to become software engineer, what field would you recommend they take a chance at like pursuing if they're very passionate about engineering and stuff like that? What field do you think is best?
For future,
Yeah, for like the
Development.
next decade or 15 years or something.
Definitely, right now it's artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Okay.
That's like two of like the most popular and most needed
Fields.
areas. Yeah,
Probably true. Yeah,
and
I agree.
programming like I think
And security, maybe.
security also.
I think they intertwine at some point. Don't you think? Do you think artificial intelligence and security intertwine? Like AI can be used to hack and secure?
Yeah, I think with the growth of AI, more security.
It's needed, yeah.
Yeah, it's needed.
Okay. Interesting. So for anyone watching, hoping to become software engineers, you might wanna lean towards artificial intelligence, AI, and security, as those seem to be the most trending domains you might want to find yourself in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we've discussed that, as a digital nomad, what are some of the challenges that you find traveling to all these different countries and traveling and working? Like, how does traveling affect your work? Put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. I think for me, there isn't really a difference working from a place outside the U.S. or not.
Finally, good.
But I think the worst thing about like traveling and working as a software engineer or any job is the time zone difference. Like, because as a software engineer, you still have like meetings with your teammates that if you work on the same project or you want to be updated on what other teammates are working on, you still need to be
On the
like
teams,
in the same
on
the team's time
zone.
zone. Yeah, and if you're in Asia, for example, my team is in New York, and if I'm like in Asia, I need to like work at night, and yeah, that's sometimes hard because software engineer you need to be very focused so you
Yeah.
don't write bugs. If your mind is like
elsewhere.
4 a.m. in the morning, maybe you'll write more bugs.
Probably.
But
Always.
for me, I can just like turn on the laptop and just work. It doesn't really, if I have internet, I can work, and that, like being anywhere doesn't really affect me. No.
Do you feel as though traveling has or let me put it this way, what are the best effects or best how do I put this? What are the best benefits that you've gained traveling while working? How has it
Benefit.
shaped your mental, your physical, your everything? How has it,
Okay.
benefited
Yeah, I
you?
think I can talk a little bit about it. So when I was in like staying in the States, I kind of worked longer hours and for my software engineer job because after I get off work, I will still be in the mindset that I'm in the same
I
location,
agree.
so I need to like
God, I agree.
somehow at night I will turn on the laptop again and start working a little bit. But if I'm like in another place, it's kind of hard to do. Like, for example, if you're in like completely different continent and like the vibe is so different, there's parties and stuff. Like once you get off work, it just you are able
off
to
work.
relax and just not think about the work so much.
Oh my God,
So
that's
it helps you. How do you say it? Like disconnect and perform better in your actual job.
I agree, bro. I totally resonate with that one. It totally makes sense. I feel like every software engineer working at like, in the office or whatever, when you go home, you're really not off work. You're trying to get your shit done.
Yeah. I have no idea why. Like I work even longer hours when I'm in the States.
That's true. I agree. How about like, do you feel like traveling has, well, I think it's rumored that traveling helps, it helps people gain perspective. Do you feel like it's true, and why? Or why not?
Definitely helps you gain perspective of like it gives you more. You learn about different cultures. You learn about how different people make decisions. Like it gives
Why
you
and how?
why.
You learn why and how,
Yeah.
not just how.
Like how.
Do you think the why matters? Like, for example, if we have a discussion and you discover how I make decisions or why, do you think it matters if you're also discovering why I make the decision and not just how? Do you think I gain perspective from knowing why you make the decisions you make or no?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Like learning about how, why people make this decision.
They
Right?
make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, you're just saying that having conversation with people, you learn how
Yeah,
they
yeah. You
think.
definitely, when you travel, you definitely meet more people, and you gain, like you will be able to understand different thoughts. And I think for all kinds of job, this is important.
Why is this important? Does it help one become like emotionally intelligent or something? Like I don't know.
Emotionally. Um, no, I'm talking about like the project wise, like.
Okay, okay. And and for those that travel, do you think that there's a difference in mindset from people that travel like us and people that travel, just for 2 weeks?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel if they're just coming to a city for a few weeks or a few days, they are definitely not that into like the culture aspect. They won't be able to really have the time to appreciate the culture. Probably they just go to like the main tourist attractions around the city. And if you actually live here, it's very different. You are able to participate in some of the events that is not very attractive for tourists. Like, and yeah, you'll be able to learn more about how the local lives. And yeah, I think
So overall, do you think that because it seems like people that travel in general have a negative effect on the local community, right? So are we making this podcast to help people travel more and help make things worse for the locals, or?
this is a hard question. Like, definitely there will be some impact on like the local economy because not all travelers are. It depends on like the area of the world. If like the traveler is in a similar economic situation with like the country,
Okay.
like the local, it doesn't have like much of impact, or the impact is might be more positive
Okay.
because like there's more money and there's not they don't need a job in the
Okay.
country, but for countries like developing countries where there's a lot of maybe travelers from developed countries,
with more money, yeah.
yeah, there will be like more money. It will probably drive the price up for some areas.
So you're saying that's the negative effect, but the good effect is that people will be more. Um, what's the term you would describe people that work and travel?
The term, like how we call these group of people.
Yeah, like nomads.
Nomads, yeah.
This is like
There's-
I don't know. I just think it's like a growth mindset type of thing, right? So do you feel like the pros and cons of having more people have that growth mindset and the local community suffering? Do you think it's equal or no?
I think it's not all negative or all positive. There's definitely, for some group of people, for example, definitely the price will probably affect some locals, but at the same time, some locals also earn money from foreigners.
foreigners, yeah.
So it's like some, like it depends on who you ask,
Okay.
and for the locals, and also foreigners bring more different cultures, different perspective into a country. So, for example, a lot of my Colombian friends, because of the foreigners here, they are able to learn about what other countries, how they work, and how to find a better job and things like that. I think
Very good.
it's also important for the locals. Like,
To learn from the
yeah, that's
foreigners.
like one of the positive that maybe foreigners can bring.
Okay, that's inspiring. Okay, given that, we can definitely wrap this up now. Given we don't want to take more than 40 minutes of our audience's time, do you have any for life philosophy that you live by?
Life philosophy. That's
Let me put it this way. Is there any last keyword of advice you can give someone watching this, hoping to be like you or better as they grow up, that they can take with them and implement in their daily lives?
Focus on your professional profession, and but once you're like maybe familiar with like the field, and you can try to think about how you can make it more flexible, whether it's like starting to make it like try to make it like you don't need to stay in a place or work at a certain time. Like try to make it more flexible so you can travel or
Okay.
do other things.
So your life philosophy is to basically be more. Once you specialize,
Yeah, once you
then you can
specialize.
leverage that to become a nomad.
Yeah.
Because it'll open many doors and perspectives.
Doesn't need to be like a nomad, but like
Just travel.
travel is like one thing because I really like traveling, but another thing is like having your own company, or having your like you don't
Learning to be-
depends on
okay.
like your profession to use time to exchange for money. Like
Okay.
try to make it something that you can have more freedom of time or freedom of
I see
location.
What you mean. I see
Yeah.
what you mean. I see what you mean. Leverage your specialization to
Yeah.
gain freedom of time
Yeah,
and
yeah,
location.
yeah.
I love that. I love that quote. So basically, you're telling people to escape the matrix.
Yeah, something
By
like that.
focusing on-
Once you're familiar with the matrix, try to escape it. Like,
Escape. Makes sense, bro. Well, I really appreciate you for taking the time to be part of this podcast, Vincent. And yeah, and I hope everyone watching it, they took at least a gem or two that resonates with them and that they can apply in their daily lives. Thank you so much, bro. And
Thank you.
until next time.
No problem.
Turn this off. Yeah, it was about 30 minutes.
30 minutes? I thought that was like 10 minutes.
Go back there, bro. Yeah, good combo, bro. Good combo.
How do you turn this over?